about web vulnerability. In really long time ago, we have already talked about XSS, which is cross-site scripting attacks. We talked about SQL injections. We talked about maybe file traverse in one lectures. So I'm just trying to let you know, guys know there's so much other attacks that can be done against our web application. And why we keep telling you about web application. Oh, okay. Before I go here, guys, I wanted you to raise your hand so Abir can take the attendance. So Ibtisam and Ryan. Okay, so everyone can now take the attendance. So Abir can take the attendance, and now we can go ahead and talk about extra attacks. So there's two extra attacks we didn't explain, which is basically triple XE. It's not really stand for XML external entities, because if you wanted really the stand out, it will be XE, but they call it XXE, because they also call this one cross-site scripting and cross-site request 4G CRSF. So they really like this acronym when they wanted to recall some different, attacks. So we'll talk about this one, XML. We'll talk about what is XML is all about. We'll talk about also cross-site request 4G and how it works, and how we can really defend against both of these attacks. So this is basically what we'll be covering today, guys. Okay, one more thing that I wanted you also to know, that this list was 2017 list, and this list it changed a little bit. Okay, so the two vulnerabilities that we can cover today is already in the new list. Okay, so as much as I can. We also, if we have time next week, maybe we can tell you how to scan a web application that is already using a component that have a well-known vulnerability. So this is like kind of static scanning. Okay, how can we set up something like SonarQube to look into your project and find if any vulnerability exists, or you are using maybe third-party component which is vulnerable. Again, some of these vulnerabilities, guys, are really something. It's not really doesn't really need administration, because it's like it's obvious what it does mean, and it just need to tweak your server and tweak your application to give you more data. So here, insufficient logging and monitoring. So there's not much to demonstrate here. It's okay. It's showing that people who is running a website does not really have any monitoring tools installed. They didn't enable certain logs. They don't have SIM, a solution that's really analyze the application logs that comes from these servers. So they are really not following best practice when it comes to detection techniques. So there's no much here to really explain. Okay, but stuff like insecure deserialization, or cross-site scripting, or external entities, these are the things that really need to be explained, and you really need to understand what is this all about. So let's look at the first of all cross-site request 4G attacks and how it works, and how it's different between the CRCRF and the cross-site scripting. Okay, how can we mitigate our network or our web application from this specific vulnerability, because this is another vulnerability, and really, how this vulnerability specifically is related to XSS, XE, which is this attack. Okay, sorry. So this XSE, okay, is also related to CRSF, also in somehow. That one of them can lead to other. Let's look at this quickly. So what is the cross-site script attack? Okay, so this is when a malicious web site cause a user browser to perform unwanted action on a trusted website. Okay, so this is basically the main definition. And if you look at this definition, you can see there is a 3 entities in this in this attack basically. So let's say that you have a malicious website. So this is the first entity here. That is what he is mentioning here in the definition. cause a user browser. Okay, so we have a user or a nice user sitting in his computer at home. Okay, so his computer, okay, impacted by this malicious bad attacker website. Okay, he is impacted by this guy. Okay, to perform what? Unwanted action on a trusted website. So we have a trusted website. Okay, this is a trusted website, and the attacker will use this web browser of this user to attack or to do an action, unwanted action on the trusted website. So this is how it works. Okay, so you need these three components in order for the cross-site script 4G to happen. Okay, guys, if you find something which is not clear, please let me know, because this is a little bit, I would say, complicated to explain. So again, attacker, okay, user browsers, and again, a trusted website. Okay, why we said it's a trusted website? Yani a good website that we trust. So the user is trusted by this website. Okay, so let's say this is your bank.com. Okay, and you have some sort of trust relationship because you are their customer. So the attacker will use the browser to attack a trusted website by this customer. So this is just the beginning of the definition. And again, guys, it mentioned here how this is called the sleeping giant of web vulnerability. That's mean giant means that it's really a big vulnerability. Okay, and this is in 2008. But again, it's really emerged again in 2012 as 20% of all web vulnerability is actually CSRF. Again, how did we get this number from? Again, if we go to OWASP and understand how OWASP work, okay, we will know that OWASP is operating in a lot of countries, and they have a lot of developers. They are contributing to this open project of vulnerabilities, and they give a feedback. So the feedback from pen testers, the feedback from developers, that a lot of websites are really vulnerable. How many websites? Around 20%. Okay. And then this specific vulnerability, guys, disappeared for a few years because people was really aware about it. And then it disappeared in 2017 version of OWASP. And then in the version of 22.1 or 2021, okay, it's appeared again. So that's mean this vulnerability still exists. They called it cross-site request 4G or server cross request 4G. So you find it in both of them. Okay, guys. One of the websites that's like eBay was already attacked by this specific vulnerability, and they lost 18 million users' personal information. That's in one attack. Okay, so can you imagine how this attack? Because this attack will really can really exploit the system and really retrieve a lot of the data of the system, and you will see. Mexico Bank attack caused a loss of account information. Okay, so you can lose account information and you can lose money because of this attack. And I will explain how both of them are possible. Okay, guys? Again, the difference between XSS and the CSRS, guys, the XSS is an injection attacks. Okay, what we mean by injection attacks, that means you are the attacker will log to the system, okay, and when he log to the system, he will inject a code, okay, and because the code is running with something I mentioned yesterday, it's called same origin policy, okay. Anyone who will visit this website, because the code now is part of this website, it will be executed in his browser, okay. So same origin policy, again, I shared with you this lecture yesterday, and in a very simple way. Same origin policy, that means anything that runs in this website, especially if it's coming from the same URL, the same protocol, the same port number, it will be authenticated by the user who logged in to this website, and they will treat it as something part of this website. So if it's a script, and this is a bad script that is keep your cookie information or whatever that what we have explained before in XSS, it will be executed in you. So here the XSS is basically I would say injection attack. Okay, injection attack. This is example. This is the CRSF. I already explained this. The examples here: transfer money out of user account, harvest user ID, compromise user account. This is the CRSF. The cross-site scripting, again, leverage bug in trusted website to cause unwanted action on the user browsers. So what he means by bugs in the trusted website, this is what I explained to you, the same origin policy. We have already talked about the same origin policy again, and the same origin policy that the attacker will just inject a code to the website. And because we are trusting this website and we log to this website, okay, the code that's injected by attacker will run in our browser and cause our browser to do unwanted action. Okay, guys? Examples that will happen when we do this is cookies, authentication information can be stalled, even sometimes code injection, or even maybe sometimes really impact the user computers. Okay? Unlike XSS, which exploit the trust user, as for particular site, CSRF exploit the trust that the site has in the user browser. Again, why? Because we have 3 elements, and I'll explain how this is going to be different. Okay, in XSS, we are having, in order to really stop the XSS attacks, we have something called input validation, and something called output encoding. And the difference between them, the input validation will try to validate the input has been injected by an attacker, while the output encoding, okay, output encoding means I will encode whatever this users or this attackers will inject, and that is will protect me. But this is not going to work in the CRSF because the CRSF is not really injection. Okay, guys, so far so good. Any questions?
Yes, so far so good, Mr. Shadi.
Okay, if you wanted really me to show you a nice diagram, this is a high-level overview for CSRF, but I will not explain this because this is like really small one. I will go for this one. So this one, okay, this is the summary of the attacks, but I will explain it in even more details. But it's just to let you see. So the first of all, this attack specifically require the user. So this is our user. Okay, so this is our user. I will give him you. Okay, so this is user. Okay, and this is the attacker A. Okay, and this is a web server. Okay, owned by the attackers. Okay, so what happened is, and this is your bank account or your bank server. This is your bank server. Okay, I will give it bank server. So what happened is, when you as a user, let's say that you establish a connection with your bank to check your maybe account for you to check your balance or whatever. So you establish a connection. And you've been trusted to access the website. Why? Because you have the valid username and password. Okay. Meanwhile, what happened is you get an email, a phishing email, okay, from the attacker. So this attacker managed to send you a phishing email that have a URL, okay? And this URL doesn't have to do anything with your bank, but you were curious and you hit to visit this server. So when you visit this server, guys, what happened is this server, because you are visiting it, give you a request, okay? Or when you visited the web page, it has a request here. You don't see it, okay? But what happened is, because you are browsing the website, this request will be executed in your browser. Okay, what happened is, this request, once it's been executed to your browser, you will receive a malicious page. You will not see it because he wrote it inside the page, but you don't see what he wrote it. So it will be really executed in your browser. Okay, and this request here, okay, is asking you to go and visit the bank.com and do something malicious. Okay, what's happening here? This is like really too much to explain. Again, so these attacks, in order to happen, okay, you really need 2 conditions to happen. The first condition is to visit the attacker website. Okay. The second condition, the attacker website will create a malicious link, okay, inside the web page that you are visiting. Once you visit, this malicious link will be executed in your browsers, and asking this server to do something in your behalf. Why? Because the server here already send you a cookie and trust you. So any request coming from this browser will be sent as authenticated, as this is coming from an authorized user, while it's coming in the background from the attacker. So the attacker instructing your browser to do something in his behalf. Okay, and you know the attacker does really have no good intention here. So when your browser do this, okay, it will allow the attacker to do something as an authenticated user. Just give you an example. Let's say that you are authenticated your bank, and the attacker really crafted very nice, request using HTTP, and let your browser do it, okay, to transfer money. So now when your browser get this request from the money, because this request are being sent to the server, so he will send it to the server here, and the transfer money will happen in the background and you will not see. Okay, this is also too much. We don't understand what you're saying. Okay, so in order to show you this in a much better diagram, let's look at this guys over here. Okay, so we have again three web sites: the naive.com, the bank.com, and again the victim browser. Okay, and we have evil.com. So this is the website this is the website that's owned by the attacker. Okay, and again, what happened is when you logged in the first place. Let me see if I make this bigger. If you can see. Just give me 1 second, guys. I'm just gonna go quickly to this specific page. Okay, because this specific page should be done in a certain way. Okay, now, so when you hit enter, okay, what happened is you will ask, this is your bank website, okay? This is your naive.com is your bank website. So in the first early beginning, you request to authenticate, okay? And you will get a cookie back as a session, right? This is what happened yesterday. Yesterday, maybe I told you guys, read about a little bit about cookies and session, and maybe we would explain before that the session is a way that your session is different between the session and cookie. That cookie is going to be in your browser and can be also in your computer, while the session is something saved and maintained by the server. But again, every time you visit a page in your bank, if you have a valid session ID, okay, you will be able to authenticate and do stuff in this session. And that's why it's important to understand what is the difference between cookie and session. But again, here the web browser really put into the bank, and you submitted your username and password, and the bank already authenticate you as a valid user. Okay, let's see what happened next. Okay, so here, okay, you access some web page. Okay, how did you access web page? And that's why I said there is a condition here attack to take place. Okay, the condition is that you received, okay, maybe maliciously a link over an email, or someone convince you from social media to visit his website, or any means that the attacker managed to social engineering you to visit his basically evil.com or a website owned and controlled by the attacker. So again, you as a human sitting here, you click the link, and this link took you to the access the evil.com. Okay, what evil.com have for you in the background is the following. Okay, so let me clear this up and then hit another enter. Okay, when you hit another enter here, guys, so طبعا for sure when you logged here, guys, it will say hello to you, and then your name and all this other stuff. Okay, so what happened here, guys? Look at this. When you have visited the website, there was a frame, okay, or something here in this website loaded, okay, to your browser. Okay, when this frame is loaded, it's saying, you know what, the source should be going to naive.com hello CG. okay, and there is inside this storage يعني inside this specific source. After you go there is a script to be executed. Okay, guys. So the script will be executed in whom? In your browser. So when we hit enter here, okay, this is force the victim browser to call hello CGI on a naive.com with a script as name. Okay, so what happened here, guys? When you load the page of the event.com, it does have a frame, and inside this frame is a website, and inside this website, there is basically a script running. And what is the script is saying? Is saying, you know what? I wanted really to steal, okay, to go to naive.com. And when open means open a window, okay, and this when open it will open a communication with evil.com, and it will read the cookie value from your browser and send it back to the evil.com. So what happened here in this attack? The browser now, guys, will steal the cookie that has been already given to you by naive.com. Okay, and now when you execute this command, it will go to hello.com, okay, and the script will run. Okay, what is the script will run? It will say go back to evil.com, and there is a page called steal.cgi. Add to the cookie here the document cookie for this website. Okay, so now you are basically stealing the cookie that has been sent to from you to for naive.com. Once he got this executed, guys, what will happen is, okay, the cookie, because you know, every time you visit the website, you need to really submit your cookie or submit your session ID. So this cookie now is gonna be stored, okay, and the script this will be executed. And what happened? That's your now your password, okay, or the session password will be sent back to the attacker. Where? To his website. Okay, so let me just, okay, where? To the website of the attacker. Now, if he has your session ID or he has your cookie ID, now he managed to really exploit the trust relationship between you and this website. Okay, again, because I have very important. Again, what's happened here? You get authenticated, and then you somehow been trigged to access this website. And then in this website, guys, frame source, when the frame executed in your browser, it will be executed to a GET request. What is the GET request is saying? The GET request was saying go to naive.com.hello.cg, which is the main page that the attacker or the naive website or your bank website will show. Okay, once it get there, guys, it will say, you know, execute a script. What is this script is gonna be? The script is saying, you know what? When open, يعني open a new Windows or open a new window and try to access evil.com and the specific web page evil.com, which is still the GI. So they have a sniffer there or they have a log file running there. Okay. And at the same times, when you open it, what you will do, you will copy the cookie, okay, and the document cookie specifically, and then what you will do, you will head back to. So what happened is when you access the hello.cgi executed, what will happen? It will say hello dear, and then the script will be executed. The script will open the website back, and then he will copy the cookie value and send it back to the attacker website. Okay, guys? So this is how it works. I know this is then the first time we didn't understand what's happening, but really, if you focus on this and read the scenario a couple of times, this is will be really easy to understand. Okay, guys? Okay, so alhamdulillah. So Naif is saying that he's always been, confused by XSS. So the XSS, guys, is different because the XSS, we don't have this specific guy over here, the evil.com guy over here in the picture. Okay, so and also the cross-site scripting doesn't have also the part that someone maliciously made you or trick you to visit his website. But in order for this attack really to happen, you should be authenticated to the main website, and in the same times you should attacker. And the attacker maliciously, guys, will run a code, and when this code is executed, okay, it will be executed, and your details or cookie or transfer will be taken and send it to the attacker. And by the way, guys, here in the victim browsers, you will not see anything of what's happening. You will see nothing. Why you see nothing? Because this code is specifically, okay, or the code here, the script here, it will open the websites of the attackers, okay, and it will copy the cookie information into the script, and the script will execute without any pop-up message, without anything. All of this happening in the background. So basically, you will be phished, and your documents steal, sorry, your cookie is stealed or your session is stealed in 1 second. And then as soon as the attacker will have the cookie, he will can be re-authenticated, or you impersonate you to the main website or naive.com or your bank.com. Okay, guys? So far, so good. Shall I
Yes,
move
so
on,
far so
or
good. Yeah.
we have to explain it one more time?
No, you can move on,
Okay,
Mr.
great.
Shadi.
Okay, so again, another example here, guys. Do a bank transfer on behalf of you, okay, without you knowing this. So in order to do this, the attacker should really know how to craft the message, how to craft this message to be executed in the website in a proper way. So he need to know, first of all, guys, which page in the bank.com that will do transfer. Okay, so he need to do this specifically. He need to do also to know which is field that we need to be filled when you transferring money. So the website, he need to basically have an account in this bank, and then he will start to know, okay, the page of transfer is this specific URL. Okay, in order to craft from, okay, I need to add from as a number. I need to add two as a number. Okay, I need to add the amount as a number. Everything I'm saying here, he need to craft a URL for it. Okay, and this URL will be executed in your computers once you are authenticated to the bank. Okay, and then you need to specify the date. So this is a false information, and you need to say if it's a single time transfer or recurring transfer. So you need also to check this box. So the attacker need to craft a URL that exactly matching and giving already values for all of this. Okay, and again, how this is can be done. Here is how it's gonna be done, guys. Look at this. Uh, he will craft a URL to post this specifically, or to read this specifically. Um, okay, this is fund transfer. Okay, how to really okay, so look at this, guys. So here he created this. He created this as an image. Okay, and once your computer is loading this image. We mentioned something called rendering yesterday. So in rendering, what happened is the source for the image, it will be basically your bank,